Well, Matty, you've been in the game long enough to not sort of worry about it too much, but I would imagine the last month has been quite enjoyable after what was a tricky time before that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for us to be, unbeaten in recent games, it's been much more positive for us, and you can see obviously everyone's enjoying the football. January's kind of over now. Brought kind of 2 new signings in, which is obviously another big positive. So yeah, it's a good feel around the place, and hopefully we can continue that run that we're on at the minute.
Yeah. And now that the window's closed and you know that the group you've got is going to be there for the next few months, does it ever unsettle a group when it's close to a deadline day and you know there might be big changes around?
Not so much. I don't think so much the players really. I think it's more above us, unless you're involved in it personally. For us, we're just kind of sat there watching it, waiting, and you hear the same rumours as what everybody else does really. So we just focus on the build up to our game, which is Preston away, and that's it really. We brought the 2 new players in, and they've settled in really well. And they're going to be a good addition to the squad.
And it just gives you other options, because obviously Antoine was a big player for you, but now you've got slightly different skills. Did it take you a couple of training sessions to think, okay, that's how they want to play, that's where I've got to get them the ball?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone knows what Antoine's qualities are, and there's a reason why he's just gone for that amount of money and to a Premier League team. And I think for him, everybody's really pleased, and for us signing the 2 new players, yeah, they're different in ways, and for us to get used to them now is the same as them getting used to us. So it's just a normal process in football, and I'm sure they'll settle in quickly and make an impact.
With the form, do you see any difference in training? Is it any different now than it would have been, after Boxing Day or something like that, where it's not gone so well?
No, not really. I think it's just what it is for us is it was still. There's still a lot of change going on. There's still quite a lot of young lads in the group, and certain lads are only just in the second year in the Championship, and they're still adapting to certain parts of the game. And I think for us, we probably needed a little bit of luck as well. We weren't getting the luck in certain games, and I think we'd probably deserve more wins than what we've actually got so far this season. So I think that was one of the things for us to kind of come to terms with as well, is to not feel sorry for ourselves and try and create our own luck. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we hope to continue to do that, and hopefully the wins will follow.
Yeah. You mentioned the youngsters, obviously Tommy at the start of the season, Sam Bell's come through. It's almost, you look at the matchday squads now, and it's best part of half of it are either recent or some point come through the academy here.
That's it. I mean, the squad that we played recently at West Brom was, it was unbelievable. Really, the bench itself was made up of virtually, young lads who were from the academy, and numerous players like you mentioned there, in the starting 11. So I think for the club, that's really good, and for the fans as well, it's a connection to a homegrown player, and homegrown players, should I say, because there's numerous of them, and I think it's good for the club, and it's good for the young lads to be involved in first team football when they are ready.
Yeah. Does it help that there are quite a few of them around who've sort of probably known each other a few years? Because as good as I'm sure you guys are at sort of welcoming them in, having somebody they've sat next to you for a decade or so probably helps that sort of integration, doesn't it?
I think there's certain days where there's more of them than us sometimes, so it's quite funny in that sense. But I think for the lads here, it's quite a close knit group, and when young lads come in, we've all been there. Certainly for me and from some of the older lads, we remember our time, and it was probably a little bit harsher, back then. So for us, we try and bring them in, we try and help them, we try and make sure that they enjoy the training session if they are coming up for the 1 or 2 days, or if they are travelling with the squad. Then you've got the lads who like Tommy now, who's he's integrated into the squad. He's playing when he's fit, week in, week out. So I think it's a good for them to see the the rise that they can have at this football club, and certainly with Tommy and Alex and Sam now, the connection between first team and academy is there for everyone to see.
And it's all about 3:00 on a Saturday afternoon, which this week takes you to Preston, which is never easy. It's somewhere that City have. Quite often you played well up there, you haven't always got the results you've deserved.
I think the game last year was 94th minute, I think, 2-1. A little bit, like you say, you come away so frustrated because you deserved the win. It was just a little bit of inexperience at the time. So again, we're learning with that, and these lads will remember them situations, and hopefully they'll build each time. And I think for us at the minute, we are in form, and hopefully we want to go there and we want to try and get a good away performance, and like you said, 3:00 on a Saturday, come away with 3 points.
And it is still quite a long way away, but a plum tie after your FA Cup draw. It's the wrong side of the city for you, but what a match.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Kind of draw for the club and for everybody involved. Certainly for the fans and for a lot of the players here as well. It's an exciting tie, and you're going to come up against some of the best players in the world and one of the best teams over the last 5 to 7 years in Europe. So I think it's something that you kind of take in your stride, and it's going to be an enjoyable moment for the club and for the players, and we just play that game as and when. But we've got numerous games before then we need to focus on, and starting with Saturday at Preston away.
Much.
No problem.
Mate, just on that cup draw, is it significant for you being a Lancashire lad?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I came through at Man United, didn't I? So I'm support Burnley. So for me, it's my wife's family's kind of split down the middle, red and blue. My eldest boy is obsessed with Man United. My youngest boy, he likes United as well. So he's split between them. He kind of likes Manchester City and Man United. So he's kind of saying to me, where should I sit? And I was like, you sit with the Bristol City end. He's kind of laughing and joking, but no, we watched the draw together, and as it kind of dwindled down the numbers, I was kind of thinking it's going to be one of them. I just don't know which one. But no, it's a fantastic tie, and my kids are very excited for sure.
What would you say to me if you've got a half and half scarf then?
Yeah, that's it. That's what he's going to have. He might have to have 3 actually. Bristol City, Man United, Man City, all in one. But yeah, no, I think for him, I think he's just buzzing that he's going to get to see hopefully numerous players obviously on the pitch live, and obviously playing against his daddy. So it's quite nice, and hopefully it'll be a good occasion for the club.
Just on last month, the departure of a few big personalities in the squad. Can that be difficult in terms of the dressing room dynamics when you lose such big personalities?
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, you always, transfer windows always kind of lose somebody, or someone always moves on to bigger and better things, or it's not quite worked out for somebody and somebody leaves. So it's kind of a natural process inside the football club that you kind of just move on quite quickly, really. Your focus turns to the next game. I think sometimes when you do lose a big personality or a big player that's in your 11, sometimes you might think, well, what do we do now? But he's kind of gone, and like you say, the West Brom game there, Sam Bell steps up, and he was excellent, and Scotty there as well, fantastic. So I think for us it's building again now. 2 new signings, let's integrate them, see if they can make an impact early doors for the team, and we move forward.
Nigel was saying that it's down to the players to replace the captaincy. As you see, you've won it a few times. Has that been decided, and how was it decided?
It's not been decided as of yet. I'm just, I'm wearing it, and it's an honour to wear it, and I try and lead regardless whether I've got the armband on or not. That's what we've always said. We need 11 captains on the pitch, no matter who wears it. So I think for me personally, like I said, it's an honour, and I love being captain, and I try and lead by example, both on and off the pitch, and whoever wears it, I think, has to take that role on. But like I said, we need leaders in the squad, whether you're young or whether you're experienced, whatever it may be.
With that, does that kind of bring responsibility of introducing the new lads to the rest of the squad? And
the new lads have settled in well. They've not been here too long, but got early training sessions in, and touches the ball around the lads. Even just like simple things like breakfast, lunch, them kind of things. It's just sitting down in the dressing room, and it's a really good squad, and it's a close knit one, and everybody kind of speaks and has laugh and as banter. So I'm sure they'll settle in quite well. We've got a nice long journey up to Preston, so there'll be a good few hours on the bus for them as well. They settle in very quickly. That's what I've always found.
Just going back to 5 weeks ago, and after that West Brom game on Boxing Day, it was all kind of doom and gloom. Now with 7 games undefeated, and there's a whole new kind of positivity around the place and the fan base. For you, what's kind of been the biggest change since then? I
don't think there's been too much of a change. I just think that sometimes when you have a squad that is quite young, confidence can be knocked, and it can be quite hard for them to understand, where's the next performance coming from, or where's this, and it was just pretty much let's just grit our teeth, let's just dig in. We had 2 away performances that kind of set us up really. It was 2 tough places to go, and I think that's what kind of just one little step, next little step, and that's what it is. It's just making them little steps, little transitions to be able to become a team that can win in certain situations where you might not necessarily play well, or you'll get a point in a game where you might not necessarily deserve it. But I think that prior to the West Brom game, certain performances warranted wins, and that's what we were trying to get the message across this. And it's not all doom and gloom as what it seemed. We knew inside the building that if we could get a performance right, we would get a result, and that's what we've tried to do. And and build on that, and we need to continue that. Starting with obviously this Saturday.
The last few weeks, Kal's dropped into that defensive midfield role. What does he bring?
I think for Kal, he can play numerous positions as he's shown in his career. He'll tell you that he's played all over the show and many different roles, and I think that's what certainly a modern day football kind of needs to do. You see numerous players playing in numerous positions now tactically. So for Kal, he can play out from the back, so that means he can play in the midfield. And if we were to change system and him to drop back into a back three, he'd be able to do that as well. So I think it gives the gaffer, numerous areas where he can change things. But I think Kal's been fantastic, and it's a role that he's possibly learning as the games go by. So I'm trying to help him. Scotty's kind of speaking to him as well, but I think he's done fantastic so far, and hopefully it continues.
Does that change your game at all?
Not really. I mean, certain aspects of it, yeah, because I was kind of more defensive based. I was trying to let Scotty go or Joe go prior to us playing this system now. And certain games, as both of us are there, the West Brom it was more me and him together, and we released Scotty and the other lads. Then I remember the Birmingham game, I was much more advanced, and we could leave him there more on his own. So each game is different, and each game warrants different tactical and whatever that may be, and I'm open to doing what I can for the team. That's the most important thing.
Just on Scotty, that game against West Brom,
yeah,
Ashley was pretty unplayable at times.
Yeah. Does it surprise you anymore when you see? No. I think for Scotty, it's that consistency now, and that's where he needs to try and work on each game. But people have to remember his age and the amount of games he's played so far is fantastic, and for him, he's still learning. He's a kid, and he went through as much as like everybody else did. It was a tough run of form for the club and for the players, and I think for him as well, it's a new experience for him, so he'll only grow from that. But the performance that he showed against West Brom was fantastic. His dribbling ability and his passing, and obviously the gaffer's been telling him to get on the score sheet for numerous weeks now, and he managed to do that. So that's what he needs to continue doing, and hopefully he can get a few more before the end of the season. No worries. Thank you.
Hi, Matty.
Okay.
You're one of Nigel's first signings here. Of late, we've seen a change in more experienced signings to more youthful ones. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you mentioned about wearing the captain's armband a lot recently. How much kind of personally do you enjoy being one of the main leaders in the group?
Yeah, it's something that I've always tried to do since I was, kind of in the youth out, really. I was always playing a little bit higher than what I should have been, and my dad always used to say, you need to try and lead regardless of what level you're playing at, and that's what I've always tried to do. And I think now more than ever, certainly in this squad, it's probably been the youngest squad I've been around, and certain players need different kind of approaches, and for me, I'll just try and do that the best I possibly can, both, like I said, both on and off the pitch. Anyone wants to speak about anything regarding stuff that I'm here, and numerous other lads are as well. It's a good mix of players, and a good kind of balance of squad at the minute.
And kind of the man at the minute, Sam Bow, different position of course, but have you given much support to him and advice on how to kind of deal with his quick rise? Almost?
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it to Belly before. I think people forget some of the positions that he's already played for the club. He played at wing back. That was a tough day at the office for him, and it was hard, and he was being asked to do something that he'd never done before. And I remember saying to him, I'm telling you, Billy, this will be a small memory in your career. As hard as it feels now, trust me, it'll go away. And lo and behold, now he's scored 4 in 3 games, and he's been fantastic. But I think a lot of it starts with Sam, out on the training field. He works hard every single day. He makes sure that the intensity is there with him, and he's earned the right to be able to play now. And I think that's what it's a credit to him for sure. And hopefully now he continues, and he fights for that spot.
And a couple new signings come in recent days. What's your first impressions of those? Haven't seen them.
Yeah, both really nice guys, and with Anis, it's a very exciting player, young player, and he's got different abilities to what we've had. I think in the squad for certainly since I've been here, to be able to kind of take that extra touch or beat that extra that man, and the natural dribbling ability that he has got. So I think everyone's looking forward to kind of seeing him. With Harry, he's an experienced player in the Championship, played numerous years now. He's had a promotion push last year with Luton, so he's experienced in different aspects of the game, really quick, and obviously something that we need in that area of the pitch for sure.
Yeah, and in terms of the team, 10 points off the playoffs, unbeaten in 7. Do sometimes see some teams in this league emerge with late kind of playoff pushes. Do you think it's too much ground to make up, or is the priority now kind of making a gap from the bottom
Yeah, I
end
think
of the
for
table?
us the priority is each week is building on what we're trying to do now with the run that we are on, and trying to get more wins than kind of draws and losses. That's basically what we need to look at. We don't want to be looking too far ahead, because I think it's a big stretch. We are in a position in the league at the minute that is we want to be higher. We want to move away from where we are at the minute, and I think that's the main focus. And building on the performances that we've had, and making sure that we do stay in every single game the best we can.
And just finally on the FA Cup draw, was a part of you hoping for a kind of match against your old side, Man United?
Yeah, I mean, you always want a big team. Everyone always wants it for, I wanted it kind of for the club and for the fans, and certainly you want to try and get it at home as well if you can, because obviously it gives a great feel around the city, and to be able to fill Ashton Gate and get some of the best players there, that's something that everybody wants. So for me, when it came out, I was buzzing, and like I said, it would have been nice either way. Whichever Manchester club, it's both as difficult as each other anyway at the minute. So like I said, it's a great draw for the fans, for the club, for the players, for everybody. So we'll cross that bridge as and when. Cheers, no worries.